Holy cow, so freaking pod.
Chapter 9.
High five.
High five. That's
Okay.
right, guys. This is a partially live show. Isn't that cool? Me and Cherry were hanging out. We didn't introduce ourselves. Do we need to?
I'm Cherrydoom.
I'm Chuuurls.
I'm Chad.
Okay. Here's the summary. Anastasia wakes up and makes breakfast. Christian joins her, and they negotiate what sexual adventures they will embark on during the day. During their discussion, Anastasia makes two fatal mistakes. She does not utterly succumb to Christian's possessiveness, saying that she must be home by nightfall, and she dares to utter that she does not feel hungry after discussing sexual things that are hard to think about. Christian threatens her into eating, and Kate calls Anastasia promptly after this. Kate tries to squeeze Anastasia for the hot virginity-losing deeds, but the NDA and Anna's prudishness prevent the sharing of said deeds. More words happen. Yummy Christian takes them into the bathroom, and then they have bathroom sex. Then they go into the bedroom and have bedroom sex. It is slightly kinkier than usual. Then, Christian's mom is heard to enter the house, despite Taylor trying to bar her entry. Oh no, what will happen? And then there was sex in this chapter, so I summarized that too.
Oh my god, you really... Oh god, there's so much.
No, it's not. It'll be fine. Christian undresses Anna, and she gets in the bathtub. Christian joins her and gives her a nice little scrub and back rub. Then he starts kneading those booby breads. Christian's dong pokes her in the butt. He takes a wash... I'm so sorry. He takes a washcloth, and while washing her thighs, not sure what happens, but it would appear that he puts a soapy washcloth on her muff and manipulates her clitoris. He stops and makes Anastasia look at his dick rearing up from the bathwater. She grabs the dong with soapy hands and gives it a test jerk. She then inflates him and makes him orgasm with some kind of interesting teeth maneuver. But wait, okay, there's even more. They go in the bedroom. Christian takes Anna to his bedroom. He ties her hands together with the book cover tie, the gray silver tie. After telling her she looks so young in pigtails, he begins to kiss her neck. She tries to touch him and he threatens to start the foreplay process over again. But then he ends up driving the kissy bus to her torso and breasts. He sticks his tongue inside her belly button, and then gums her feet, Actually, he licks and bites each toe and then licks her instep, and this is on, of course, in each individual foot. Christian works his way back up and starts doing some oral sex on her. Arg, she moans with two A's, and she orgasms. Christian puts a condom on and penetrates her. They have the sex. Anastasia orgasms again. Christian orgasms too, and then he collapses on Anastasia, sandwiching her between him and the bed, somehow not suffocating her. He says some kind of like pressury stuff about consenting to the dom-sub relationship, and then they do an Eskimo kiss. That's the summary. So on to pet theories. My pet theory this time is that Anastasia might be a secret pedophile, maybe Christian too for that matter. It's not, I don't know. I don't want to pretend like I'm being funny about this. It's a serious subject.
This isn't the first time that she's brought it up either.
Really?
Yeah, in the previous chapter when she got up, when she was remembering him as a boy playing the piano. That's
well,
right.
she wasn't even remembering. She was fake remembering.
Or, yeah, when she was imagining him.
The line that made me think this was, and I quote, "How could anybody look this good and still be legal? I remember his room upstairs. Perhaps he's not legal. I shake my head. So much to think about. It's tempting to reach out and touch him, but like a small child, he's so lovely when he's asleep." When she says legal, I think she means like money embezzlement and not like of age.
I think she means just, oh, this is so good it should be illegal.
Yeah, I think that's what she means, but we'll never know.
And then she's thinking, oh, maybe he is illegal, and like not any sort of actual law, but just...
She should have said, like, is it legal to look this good? Oh, it's bad. It's bad. And then Christian, there is also something weird with this. She puts her hair in pigtails, and he said something like, "Oh, I like these pigtails. They make you look so young," which is like, ew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine is that Anna gives like a fairly good blowjob her very first time. She doesn't like gag or anything, and she doesn't get her teeth in the way except when she means to. And that's pretty impressive, I guess. I think that she might be a secret prostitute who's actually been doing this for years. Or else she got hit in the head and forgot that she was a prostitute, but the muscle memory remains.
Could also be reincarnation.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I wrote up some rude response to this, like, well, you see, like, some people are just naturals, but then I thought about it, and like, even if you are surprisingly good your first time, you still need whoever is receiving oral sex usually has to give you some guidance because, like, nobody's telepathic except for Christian.
My pet theory is that Christian really is the, like, secret man, baby neckbeard goon, we all feared when he first talked about his playroom, because at the end of the chapter, he's just like, shit, it's my mom.
So he's actually been living at his mom's house this whole time.
Shut up,
Oh,
Mom.
man.
I'm busy.
She just came to bring you some Hot Pockets.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be amazing. This is a good pet theory.
Yeah.
I just made it up right then.
I'm editing that out. That's naughty. Well, no, maybe it's not naughty. Sorry.
No. Edit that out.
I'm not gonna. So on to mechanics, and I realized that I've been copying out quite a bit, so I decided to put some effort in and give you guys some grammar and mechanics problems. Quote, I feel a little sore, if I'm honest, in my muscles. Geez, it's like I've never done any exercise in my life. There's no comma after geez. Geez, it's like it's never done it. So that's a comma crime. Next thing. Quote, my subconscious has woken. She's staring at me with pursed lips, tapping her foot. So you've just slept with him, given him your virginity, a man who doesn't love you. In fact, he has very odd ideas about you, wants to make you some kind of kinky sex slave. None of that is italicized, so, like, it's incorrect. Like, it switches, it's like second person, because it uses you. Anyway, it's wrong.
Yeah, that happens more than once in this chapter.
I know. Well, it's okay if they italicize it, but it's not otherwise, and it does happen, so.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Sleeping Beauty is still sleeping, so I leave him and head for the kitchen. When she says Sleeping Beauty, the B in beauty is not capitalized. I feel like I don't know if that's really a problem, but I don't like it, because I know she's referring to Sleeping Beauty, the thing. How dare she? But even so, like, this is also a weird sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will debate that with you, the capitalization thing. However, I think I actually don't care. But I would say, because if she's Sleeping Beauty, then she's technically referring to the movie, because the character has its own name, her own name.
She might be referring to the fairy tale, since she's a literary student. Did she have a name in the fairy tale?
Aurora?
Well, that's the
No, that's the
movie.
movie. That's a good question. It's something that we probably should have researched. Okay, next thing. iPod. I slip it into the breast pocket of Christian's shirt, turn it up loud, and start dancing. Paragraph break. Holy hell, I'm hungry. Paragraph break. I'm daunted by this kitchen. Those were some weird paragraph breaks. Holy hell, I'm hungry should have been italicized and not given its own line. Instead, it needed to be grouped with I am daunted by his kitchen. Next one, second to last one. He's hard to stay mad at, especially when he's being so uncharacteristically playful. The sentence that starts with especially is a sentence fragment.
I don't know. I think that's kind of okay.
Well, the thing is, it should have been a comma.
I guess so.
Comma crime. Okay, last one. Does your family know about your predilection? There's no comma between and predilection. So his predilection for and
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Never mind, I'm confused.
His predilection. But yeah, she's the one who says all the time.
Yeah.
Not him. But she's asking him if he has an predilection. He doesn't.
Well, he might have a predilection to her Wait, no, predilection means something that you do.
That
okay,
you...
never mind.
All right.
He does do her. Anyway,
okay, it's your turn.
I don't have any still.
Woo! All right, Chad, do you have any?
On page 126. Wait, did you say this one? There's a comma thing where she says, "I need time alone, away from here to think," which is that's bad. It's either take out the comma or add in another comma after here. So either I need time alone away from here to think, or I need time alone away from here to think. Either of those would be better.
I like the second option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do too. Just fucked hair. Just fucked should probably be in quotes.
What?
Otherwise
Really?
it sounds like...
That's a little...
Actually, could you remind me, is it hyphenated? Is it just fucked hair? Or is it just fucked hair?
Yeah, it is. Just dash fucked.
Okay, I believe that's correct. If it's like a phrase like that, like devil may care, you don't have to put in quotations.
I have to say, she'd have to hyphenate all three things. Because...
No.
Because you could have it just fucked anything.
Just fucked boobs.
But it just, like, putting those together makes it sound like it was her hair that was just fucked. Like, that turns that into an adjective describing her hair.
Maybe.
Because if you say like my just eaten meal or my just purchased shoes, like that's my just fucked hair. That's why it would have to be. That's why it should be in quotes. Just fucked hair, like it's a thing, not.
Okay, I will agree with that.
I refuse.
We'll put this to the listeners. What do you think? This should be the only comment you leave on anything. Just tell us about this one thing.
Yes, please. And we will reveal what everyone said later.
Sorry. The next thing is Anna says to herself, there's nothing like music to cook by, which is technically fine. It's just, I don't know. Syntactically, I don't like it. I would prefer something like there's nothing like cooking by or to music.
Yeah, cooking to music.
Yeah, or there's nothing like cooking while listening to music. Something like that. There's nothing like music to cook by is a really bad sentence. She definitely doesn't sound like any sort of like English major using something like that. The second to last one. It allows a bit of time to think, but not too deeply. There should be a comma before, but not too deeply. That's about it.
Think, but not too deeply. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, it allows time to think, but not too deeply. Now, as it stands now, it's just, it allows time to think, but not too deeply.
So we're on to Americants. I found two. Honestly, fancy falling for a man who's beyond beautiful, richer than Croesus, and has a red room of pain waiting for me. Honestly, fancy that. Fancy that man. Like, okay, Americans never fancy anything.
I think they do if they're trying to be lofty.
If we're trying to be silly, like, fancy that.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't. And the honestly, too, is a bit like Hermione Granger. Honestly, Ron! Kind of thing. Okay, and the next one, which I thought was especially bit of a foregone conclusion, wasn't I? It just sounds really, there's something about this. Like,
yeah, no, it's extremely British.
Starting with bit of a. Brit like bit. That's what my notes say.
Hey, if this was a Harry Potter fan fiction rather than a Twilight fan fiction, who would Christian be? Would it be Malfoy?
Yeah, it would.
Oh, okay, so it would be a Hermione Draco fan fiction? Weird.
What did they call that pairing anyway? Is it Herco? Dramini? I
Dramini, it's Dramini.
Oh, it's Dramini. Yeah, I used to read Harry Potter fanfiction.
Wait, I have a question. So are you saying that the honestly thing is the thing you don't, or is it them together?
Yeah, it's the two together. It would be...
Okay.
Honestly is something just about every English speaker. English speaker. It's something that every English speaker would probably say, honestly. But fancy, like, I don't know, it's just...
I agree. I had foregone conclusion, but I have one more, which is on 133, where Christian says, water and iPods, not a clever combination.
Oh, yeah.
Just the use of clever there. It's an uncommon for Americans.
Yeah, clever is used in a different way. It just usually just means like smart rather than witty, which I think is how they use it in America.
All right, so now we have wording. I don't know why I have this section, but here it is.
We've had this section for every episode.
I know, but it feels strange. I don't know why. I guess because we would usually cram it together before.
Because you're in a different place. Everything feels strange.
The altitude.
Oh, God. So the first quote. I walk through a door thinking that it might be the bathroom, but I'm in a vast walk-in closet as big as my bedroom. Then later, it's the bathroom, and it's bigger than my bedroom. This is a bad setup for a bad payoff. I walk in the door thinking it might be a bathroom, but I'm in a vast walk-in closet as big as my bedroom. Like, it's just really, I mean, I don't like to read my writing out loud, but, like, I read it in my mind. With my eyeballs, I read it, and I hear a voice in my head that reads it to me. I don't think that E.L. James has this voice.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think E.L. James may just be a huge idiot.
Wow.
Quote, I find 2 welcome hair ties at the same time in my bag and quickly tie my hair in pigtails. I just now noticed that's a lack of a comma in there. Probably after bag there should have been a comma. But I hate this for Chad reasons, because the hair ties are welcome. I don't like that.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about finding them at the same time.
Oh no, that's oh, what a coincidence. No, I don't care about that. Why would a hair tie welcome you? Wouldn't you say like
No, the hair ties would be welcoming if that's for doing that.
But a hair tie isn't even like a place or person.
But she's welcoming them to her hair. They're welcome.
I actually don't find this that bad.
I'm not saying that you would find it bad, but it's for similar reasons that you find like water or bath being welcoming. You didn't like that.
Oh, okay.
I see.
But the bath isn't welcoming. Anna is being welcoming.
Anna finds it welcome. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like this. The next thing. Quote, well, to be truthful, I have nothing to compare this to. I snap at him. Started that sentence out incorrectly. Did you wish to offer your commiserations? Asked too sweetly. End quote. Commiseration. Like, can you guys tell me if I'm wrong? And that's when you, if you commiserate with someone, it's like sympathy, empathy. Like, I commiserate. I'm totally on the same page as you.
I think
Yeah, it's like it's being sad together, basically.
Why? So what happened? Why would he commiserate? Is he also, like, does his dong hurt?
No, I mean, okay. You can have sympathy for someone without feeling bad.
Well, commiserate is like agree.
Right.
I think. I'm gonna look it up right now.
No, commiseration is like it's when you both like complain about something, basically, or like I think this is the correct definition. It's like sharing in a bad situation together.
Okay, so it would be like,
or any bad thing.
him saying, "Yeah, it really sucks that you're sore, and I'm sorry," as opposed to,
Yeah,
I'm also
that's commiseration.
sore.
See, I used to think that because it says under here in synonyms, empathize with.
But it also says sympathize.
It also
with.
says sympathize with, so I guess we'll just never know.
I guess it probably had one
all-purpose.
specific definition, and then people just started using it, so now it means both.
Right, just like literally is now figuratively.
Yeah, and also literally.
Quote, expensive looking bath oil. What?
Oh.
Not again! She's already done this with, like, expensive sounding, expensive looking, expensive smelling. Like, why? How do you describe expensive looking bath oil? It's because it's one thing to see an expensive looking car. It's a nice car. But how does the bath oil look expensive?
The bottle, I imagine. It's got a fancy label.
Well, in the same way that the generic
Walmart bath oil.
I guess I was
It's got
thinking
a fancy
more
script label.
like the oil itself.
Why would she look at that?
Because he's pouring it in the tub.
She's probably looking at the bottle.
Oh, okay.
maybe it's just liquid gold.
That's what I was wondering. Was it like filled with glitter? What makes it expensive?
It's gold schloil.
It has little bits of chopped off dollar bills in it.
So she puts bacon back under the grill.
Right, and she's at an oven.
Wait, what?
Yes, it's like a big range.
Right, so she's at a range, but she's putting something under the grill. So I'm not sure, like, does that mean it's like a barbecue with a lid or something? Or
I, too, was confused by this.
is it she's putting it under, shoving the bacon under the range? I don't know.
Like under the trivet type deal that is on the range? That's really weird. I wonder if this is another actual, like, British
thing, yeah. Somehow under the heat of the grill.
Or, like, maybe the grill is the oven door.
Maybe she was just hiding it. Perhaps she was just hiding it. Just hiding it.
It's my secret bacon. She's got food issues, too.
A secret keeps everything warm.
What?
Because she's doing it to warm the bacon up.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
As Chad mentioned earlier, the sloppy segue of, actually, Kate's wardrobe probably rivals this. Kate, oh no!
Do you want to read the whole thing? It starts with that bedroom bathroom line that Chuuurls mentioned earlier. And then, a vast walk-in closet as big as my bedroom. Lines and lines of expensive suits, shirts, shoes, and ties. How can anyone need this many clothes? I tut with disapproval, in my mind, without italics. Actually, Kate's wardrobe probably rivals this. Kate, oh no! And that's all in one paragraph.
I think it's maybe a little better. It doesn't seem as much of a stretch as the one about the tennis court, because at least she's talking about wardrobes.
Yeah,
still.
she didn't start a whole new paragraph to do this one, so.
I guess.
But it's not good.
But yeah, I mean, I don't like it still. It's dumb.
I agree.
I can't wait to see how many more of these she does. To have an excuse to think about people who aren't Christian.
All two of them.
More references to sex is not a thing. She talks to Kate and they're like, and Kate's like, did you? Oh, you did. Tell me about it.
They also still don't say vagina. It's there.
She does say my sex in reference to her vagina, which I hate. I've always hated. It's
Same.
gross. Even though I guess it's sort of okay technical term, maybe.
I don't know. To me, it always sounds like my sexual performance.
A technical term.
Like, what's wrong with my sex? Like,
Yeah,
you don't-
exactly.
Yeah, you're not asking what's wrong with your vagina. You're asking what's wrong with your performance.
Okay, Christian actually uses the phrase making the beast with two backs when referring to Elliot and Kate, which is disgusting. Like, I can't see him. Like, why is he saying that? He's better than that, I would hope. But I guess not.
Yeah, that sounds like something Jose would say.
She describes Christian's penis as her own Christian-flavored popsicle, which is gross.
Oh my god.
Like,
Sickens
okay,
me.
first of all, it should be a lollipop because it's not going to melt.
She's also not going to eat it. Well, she does use her teeth, so maybe not.
Do you not eat lollipops, Chuuurls? Like you just lick them and then you get rid of
I
them?
don't chew them. Do you like having teeth break?
Well, after a while, you can snap off pieces.
Yeah, you could. But why would you?
Well, you got to get to the
Oh, you
the
mean like
chocolate in the middle.
the Tootsie Roll pop? No, I just suck on it forever. I just suck on it forever, Chuuurls.
Oh, see, I was just thinking that you would like have a some of the flavor and then just throw the entire lollipop away.
The other one looking, you're like, yep, done. You mean that's not what a lollipop is like?
She describes Christian as slamming into her fast, hard, and large.
How can you slam into someone large? No, but I mean as like a adverb.
Yeah, you're right.
I did it large. Oh, I get. Well, maybe that does work.
That should be the new slang. Do it large.
Do it large.
It's a Kesha song. And I don't think she uses any words for penis except for maybe arousal or erection.
She says erection.
Yeah. Okay.
That satisfies.
That's fine.
That satisfies me.
So page 125, she makes a reference, which is the first page of the chapter. She makes reference to Christian's sculptured pouty lips. I just don't like the use of sculptured there.
The image it evokes is so disgusting. Like,
well, not only that, but I think it should just be sculpted, because sculptured is sort of a weird usage there.
Yeah.
But it's totally a thing. And also, I don't really would you really say that lips are sculpted?
I mean, if they're very defined, I suppose, and perfect sculpture-y.
I mean, to me, it almost sounds like she put them that way. She sculptured them into place.
Okay, would you say someone has a sculpted ear? Because they're sort of on the same level to me. They're a little too incidental.
Only if they had a really nice ear.
Yeah, you say there's sculpted abs all the time.
But that's a little bit different because
his chiseled lips.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually probably more delicate to actually sculpt lips, but it just seems like a strange usage.
Now I'm trying to imagine sculpting some lips and you're just like
they just always come out.
Just squeezing them.
Page 127. I have never fitted in anywhere.
I have never fitted in anywhere.
Man, that should go to mechanics.
Yeah, maybe. I can't decide if is that a British thing? Maybe?
I've never fit in anywhere.
Yeah, that's how I would say it. Yeah, I forget where I put this one. This is probably right at the beginning of the chapter where she refers to Christian's designer stubble.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
This is just a weird thing. I think she's trying to imply that he gets all of his hair work done, but if it's just stubble, then he obviously hasn't had time to visit somebody to sculpt his stubble.
They carefully stipple the stubble onto his face.
So on page 131, Anna has just finished talking to Kate on the phone, and she's trying to decide how to get out of talking to Kate about all of the things that she and Christian have done because of the NDA. And she says to herself, that is going to be one difficult square to circle. And that's terrible. This is one of the reasons why I think Yale James is kind of probably a super huge idiot, dumb
Did she make
person.
that up? Has anybody ever said that?
I mean, it's a alchemy,
well,
right?
First of all,
yeah, tell us.
no, it's not alchemy. It's an old geometric thing. And it's okay. So do you know what squaring the circle is? It's to prove that the area of a circle and a square can be the same. That a square can have the same area as a circle geometrically. Because in Euclidean geometry, it should be possible, but it's not. It's been proven impossible. It was proven impossible a long time ago. Here's the problem, not only with... Okay, so that's how she's saying it. First of all, she's implying that would be possible. Second of all, she's reversed it. She says a difficult square to circle. It should be a difficult circle to square. Typically, that's how you say it. It technically has the same meaning if you're taking it that way. But if you don't know what she's saying, it just sounds like she's saying it's hard to draw a circle around a square.
Yeah, that's actually what I thought.
So it still makes her look really bad either way. I suppose this is in character for Anna because she's an English major. I don't know, but
no, but it's true because I didn't really know. I didn't look at that and say that's wrong. I was just like, oh, that's weird, and then I moved on.
To give a really nerdy joke, this would be E.L. James, if she were slightly maybe better, saying it's gonna be really difficult to prove that P equals MP here. One of the greatest unsolved problems in
mathematics.
Anyway,
yes.
Go on. Page 134. His hand glides across to my breasts and start kneading gently, taking no prisoners.
Oh god, I thought that was funny.
What exactly does taking no prisoners mean in this context?
But aren't the boobies technically his prisoners? Because he's taken them into his hands.
He's not taking any prisoners.
But he did.
But she's saying that he didn't. Let's see, this is the problem. What does this mean?
Well, what does a take no prisoners approach? It means that you kill the prisoners.
Yeah. Well, you don't have prisoners. You just kill people that you encounter.
You just kill everybody. So are you trying to say that Christian killed some people to get to her boobs?
He's destroyed her breasts in the kneading process?
Oh my god! How terrifying.
Maybe Christian is secretly her father, and he'll go back in time to the past, to Vietnam, and he'll have just too many search and destroy missions,
Jesus.
and so he'll have a take no prisoners approach to everything, and so that will include massaging Anna's breasts, which is now. So there's the time travel has to work. I'll get back to you on
All
this.
I wanted was a man who would take no prisoners when it came to massaging my breasts. I mean, I can't get over how bad that is.
It's pretty bad. Page 135. As the sensations take over, I tilt my head back, my eyes rolling to the back of my head, my mouth slack and groan. It just sounds horrible, man. Like it sounds like she's passing in, like she's passing into a convulsion or like a seizure. But also, I don't know, maybe it's fine. Page 136 again. I push him into my mouth. It doesn't really make any sense. How would
Anna
you
agreed
push?
to a very giant size and then push Christian into Raj.
140. He swirls the tip of his nose around it. She's talking about the area between her two clavicles, and then begins a very leisurely cruise with his mouth. So, let me read this one more time in a slightly better tone of voice. He swirls the tip of his nose around it, then begins a very leisurely cruise with his mouth. So this just made me think of something from Utena, which is Akio Otori, the brother of Anthe, just in his car, doing a leisurely Bishonen cruise, demonstrating his true love.
I was just thinking, like, it makes his mouth sound like a boat.
Yeah.
Everybody get on the Christian yacht for kisses.
Page 140. She says, repeating the whole process again when she's talking about something that Christian is doing to her sexually, which is silly. It makes it sound like she's in like a meat processing plant or something. Page 141. Charles mentioned this earlier. The at least not one of pleasure.
That's a Charlie Brown exclamation.
E.L. James apparently doesn't know what people sound like or how to translate that into text. And that's all for wording.
Now we are on to the fun part. Situational. Here we are. And I numbered all these really stupidly because I started.
What the fuck?
Okay, so what happened was I started with the wrong. I made one of the second ones 1, and then I was like, okay, I'll just 1A. And then I was like, no, chronological order. And then I had to make 1X, 1Y, 1AA, 1A asterisk, 1AAA, 1AB, 1Z.
Okay.
That's stupid.
You should have done prime and double prime and anyway.
So in response to where Anna says that Christian has 2 sinks, here's the quote. Given that he doesn't sleep with anyone, that's stupid. Okay, well that's wrong. She says she doesn't include that. Given he doesn't sleep with anyone, one of them can't have been used. Why would you assume that? What is the logic here? And why is it ironic that she...
Yeah, you forgot to put in
my quote.
2 sinks, I noticed with irony. Given he doesn't sleep with anyone, one of them can't have been used.
Right. Why would you assume that he would not use both sinks? I mean, you switch off.
Would you?
I would. I used to live in a house that had 2 sinks in one bathroom, and I would switch. Why is it ironic that she's noting that he has 2 sinks, and not the fact that he has 2 sinks because he's one person?
Yeah, the fact that he has 2 sinks is what's ironic, not the way she's noting it with irony. And I don't know, it's weird.
It probably could have gone in wording, but just thinking, oh, 2 sinks. He probably doesn't use both of them. Quote, richer than Croesus. I've never heard anybody say this, so I looked him up on Wikipedia, and that is Croesus. He is a rich guy from ancient Greek times in what is now Anatolia, or Turkey. He was just really rich, and that's his legacy. He's a rich guy.
He was also the king of Lydia.
It's modern day Turkey.
I mean, there was a section in Wikipedia about, him being the standard for being super wealthy.
Yes.
And, comparable.
Well, because he was super wealthy, that's my whole...
Right, but I mean, that's old.
So it's reasonable, for sure, that she says this, but I've never heard anyone say that. It seems a little outdated.
I want to make a comment about this, too. So she makes this reference to Croesus, and she makes another reference later to another thing, and both times, as opposed to the one time where she references Icarus, which is actually a pretty well-known reference,
right.
She doesn't explain these references. The first time where she talks about Icarus, she explains exactly what happens to Icarus.
Okay, quote, Christian is sitting on one of the bar stools at the breakfast bar, leaning on it, his face supported by his steepled hands. So in real life, when me and Cherrydoom were in the car, I steepled my hands, and to me that's a point. And then I put them on under my chin, and they were not comfortable. But apparently that's not what that is. It's actually the kind of, well, this is what you call bad radio or bad podcasting. I can't show you. But it's you just kind of put your fingers together, and then you go,
Right. like Mr. Burns or
Gendo Ikari
Yeah.
from Evangelion. So this can't bode well.
Or Robert Pattinson from Cosmopolis.
Christian reaches into a cupboard and pulls out some Twinings English breakfast tea. He planned this! He knew she was coming over. He planned this from the beginning. He's horrible Christian. All the things we were saying was true.
Yeah, that's really creepy.
It's horrible. Are you hungry? Very, he says with an intense look. And I don't think he's referring to food. Pancakes, bacon, and eggs? But then he was referring to food because you just made breakfast. I think he is very hungry.
Or maybe, I mean, maybe he's hungry for her as well.
I mean, of course, but like,
Yeah.
the context should imply that there's no confusion. And if there was any sort of double talk going on, it's obvious later, not right here. So she could have said it later. Quote, well, as you're sore, I thought we could stick to oral skills.
Wait.
Did you like my James voice from Pokemon? Go ahead, Chad.
Sorry, that when you say that he was referring to food there, what do
Okay,
you,
because
what?
she
What are you
asks
talking
him
about?
if he's hungry. He says very hungry, and then she brings up pancake, bacon, and eggs, and he's like, yeah.
Well, because that's what she meant. But I think he's just,
But
know,
I think
being,
he
like,
is referring
cheeky.
to food.
I think he's just being cheeky, and then she's not playing along with him, so he's like, fine, yeah, we'll just have fucking pancakes instead of your vagina.
It is a double entendre.
Pancakes, bacon, and eggs? Sounds great. He doesn't complain. I think he really was hungry.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah, that's not what I meant, Anastasia. Well, as you saw, I thought we could stick to oral skills. I choke on my tea and I stare at him, eyes wide and gaping. You had sex. You don't need to do this anymore. And it's the same with, like, the flushing and blushing. Like, you don't...
Well,
I don't...
maybe it's just like she didn't really do anything last time.
Yeah,
so maybe
she didn't
she's
do
still,
anything.
Oh no, I have to do something?
I mean...
Oh, well, this sort of comes up again later, too, where she's naked in the tub.
Oh yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm naked,
really
stop staring at
embarrassed.
me.
I am naked.
To be fair, I think that they did have sex in the dark.
We do not know. But when they walked into the room, the lights were on because she described the room.
There was no light turning offs.
And I'm assuming there was probably enough ambient light from the city to light up at least part of the room. Because they were ceiling high windows.
It's, I mean, just broad daylight versus sort of dimish.
Yeah.
I mean, this person put his mouth all over your body and he had sex with you. I don't think you need to be embarrassed anymore.
But then also, to be fair, I do think Anna's just based on Anna's character, she probably would be sort of this modest. Because I actually have that I choke on my tea and stare at him eyes wide and gaping thing down in my situational. So can I just talk about it here? Okay, so she says, I choke on my tea and I stare at him eyes wide and mouth gaping. So first of all, she's choking on her tea, but her mouth is
I just thought of that.
Oh yeah.
gaping, like it's just hanging there. And then Christian, in order to help her with her choking, offers her orange juice. Like he passes her orange juice after she's choking on her tea.
She gotta clear it out.
Probably just means that cough that you do when you're not really choking. You go, and then you're like, because like your throat's all fucked up. Here, drink this orange juice. For some reason, not your tea. I don't know.
That's all I have to say about that. The whole thing just was hilarious.
Now into some more. It's kind of more of a discussion point, but it is something that happens. In the beginning of this chapter, there's a bit of Christian and Anna kind of like bitching at each other, like when they're discussing the NDA. Eat your food! I think that in Anna's shoes, maybe this would not be like a very uplifting thing to have happened. You know, because like they did, you know, she just had sex with this guy. Maybe not sure how things are going to go in the future. You know, it's like it's a delicate time. And like this guy is, you know, arguing with you about stupid shit and telling you to eat your food and all this stuff. So why do you think that E.L. James chose to highlight this, you know, their disagreements here? I mean, is that to characterize Christian as an asshole or, you know, Dom? Or is it Anna to be a prudy loser who can't talk about sex? I mean, paired with Christian's refusal to let Anastasia touch him, I'm maybe inclined to say that they don't have like a real good relationship dynamic. Although you could probably guess that from the other chapters.
I mean, they just met. And maybe this is like... I would say like an, oh no, now you're finding out who you really are. But I don't know if that's something that would be a showcase like this in a romantic book.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's supposed to be, you know, quipping and stuff, or, you know, showing that Anna's resistant to his trying to control her life.
I guess just the tone of it seems a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no wrong answer. It really is your interpretation. So what do you think, Chad?
Yeah, I agree. I was going to basically say what Cherrydoom said. I think it is supposed to, like, be like quipping, especially considering all of her other crackling dialogue from earlier in the book, where it was like screwball comedy level. Just her attempts at that. It is really, it's weird. I don't like it either. Like the way that they're arguing. It's very strange to do the characterization this way, because it really would probably lead, just from my perspective, it does make them seem like they're not really compatible. There's too much tension. There's too much suspicion.
If Christian wants Anastasia to like be in this contract with him, like, wouldn't he try to be a little nicer to her?
Well, and the worst part is that like he's trying to lure her into this contract, and she's operating entirely just on like lust. That's like the only reason she's interested in Christian, because he's really beautiful.
So hot. Oh my gosh.
Like, as far as we can tell, they don't really have anything in common.
So another sort of discussion question. Christian has never had vanilla sex. I'm spoiled on these books, obviously, because I read all the books, if you didn't know. So I have a little bit more insight on why that is. But it's still weird to me that, like, never... Like, do you think it's typical if you have this BDSM stuff to not ever have vanilla sex? Because I would say no.
I would say no. I mean, it seems like unless he, his first experience was so fucked up that he couldn't ever do things regular again, except for now with Anna. It does seem strange that he would go from whatever happened to him directly into this string of contracts women.
Yeah, I find that very bizarre.
So I'm interested to see what exactly is going on here.
Mm-hmm. Chad, what do you think? Do you think it's weird? Do you think it's weird that he's never...
Yeah, I wrote that down too. I just thought, like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. The only real reason is that, like, he just started out that way and just never looked back.
Yeah.
I mean, but to never say, like...
Well, he's apparently, like, a sociopath, so it's hard to say. Because he's basically, like... So, like, there wouldn't be a reason for him to ever really be... Except that he's doing it here for Anna specifically to, like, ease her into things.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't... It's very incoherent.
What does he mean by vanilla sex? The sex they had the last night still seems kind of...
Ever so slightly. I mean, there's a power dynamic.
Yeah, definitely
correct.
power dynamic. So, like, what...
Well, I think...
Has he done everything else that is so much worse, I guess? Like, just being in a contract, or...
Maybe he just was doing, like, 24/7 always be or something. It's like how often you would incorporate a fetish into your sex. And then it kind of, like, begs the question, what is vanilla sex?
Yeah.
I just had a thought. Maybe this ties back into my earlier pet theory, and Anna is just mishearing what he's saying. Like, he's just saying, I've never had vanilla ice cream. But she's like...
So instead of having sex last night, they had vanilla ice cream?
They just had ice cream, yeah.
He's actually talking about the Swedish cookies, kex. He's never had vanilla kex. So that's why. She's mishearing. It was just, yeah. Quote, his erection is above the waterline, the water lapping at his hips. I glance up at him and come face to face with his wicked grin. So, I mean, I guess, the answer is in this sentence. The water level is at his hips, lapping at his hips. But, like, it makes it, because, like, we weren't sure of the water level. Like, where do you define lapping at the hips? Lapping above or, like, right at the hip? And also, you think sitting in a bath, they're enough in the bath to be supposedly submerged by it.
Uh-huh.
It's like, what is he doing? Is he, like, putting his hips up like this, like, not resting on the slope of the tub?
Yeah, we want a diagram of this.
I mean, I could draw us a diagram. I mean, yeah, it's like, how big is his erection that there can be sticking up enough out of the water that she doesn't drown when she blows him? I was sitting on this couch that we're sitting on, and I was just, like, putting my arm on my pelvis, like, that's how big it has to be, like, my forearm. It's so scary.
Or else they just are sitting in, like, 3 inches of water, and that hardly counts as a bath. They're, like, rolling around in the bath like a bird.
Yeah, just like a little puddle, like. Exactly.
More birds.
Birds. Any theories on this, chat?
I don't know. It's just tying into them not being human.
Yeah, they're not human.
Yeah.
After the blowjob, Anna is saying this. She's narrating. I swallow quickly. Oh, quickly! I swallow quickly. Ugh, I'm not sure about this. But one look at him, and he's come apart in the bath because of me, and I don't care. Well, first of all, come apart in the bath is, like, the funniest thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
What I wanted to discuss is, why was she not sure about this?
She doesn't like the taste.
That's it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She just wasn't.
I thought it was like
She's like, oh, this has gone great. Oh, but this tastes gross. Never mind. I'm not so sure about this now.
I was gonna say, maybe this is too personal. Like, sometimes after people do a sex act, and like when they finish, they're like, ew, like what have I
Yeah.
done? Like I thought it was like one of those things.
Maybe that too.
Like regret.
Like maybe she's like, oh no, what have I done? But she's looking up at him like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought I was more inclined to say it was like that last thing, not the taste.
I think that's probably a good reading too, though. It is ambiguous, but she doesn't explicitly say why she's not sure about anything. And that may be giving E.L. James too much credit.
Too much.
Anna turns on her iPod, like turns the music up really loud in her ears and starts dancing around the kitchen in like the most obvious setup to be caught looking like a dork. As soon as I saw, oh, she puts on her iPod, starts dancing, I'm like, oh, she's gonna get caught. She's gonna turn around and Christian's gonna be there looking at her and she's gonna be embarrassed and she's gonna see how quirky she is. I don't know, it's just sloppy and dumb. Like, very cliche, I feel. Okay, so there's the whole thing about the pigtails. She puts her hair in pigtails and says, I find 2 welcome hair ties at the same time in my bag and quickly tie my hair in pigtails. Yes, the more girly I look, perhaps the safer I'll be from Bluebeard. Why is she, like, trying to protect herself now? Does she regret what she did? Now she's scared of him? Also, she keeps referring to him as Bluebeard, which I looked up. It's a French folktale about a rich nobleman who was killing all his wives, and one of his wives, like, opens the room and discovers all these blood and bodies and stuff.
It was a really cool story, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, he gives her all these keys, and he's like, you can open any room except that room. And she opens the room, and it's full of dead bodies, or something. Yeah. But yeah, you should read about it on Wikipedia.
Yeah. So why is Anna equating him to Christian? Is, like, this the room full of dead bodies? Is that is that his playroom?
The only dead body in here is the bacon.
It's just weird that would be the literary thing that she would equate it to, where her life is in mortal danger. Just why is she scared? Why does she need to protect herself by looking like a child?
Yeah, that is weird.
And then later, okay, he says, I love these, he whispers, referring to her pigtails. They won't protect you. Bluebeard. He knows what she's thinking. He fucking somehow deduced that she was put her hair into pigtails not to be attractive like a porn
cute
star, or give herself handlebars, but to protect herself by looking young. And it's super creepy. Yep. And he's an evil mind reader.
He is. He's a telepath, just like I said.
Ugh.
Just like I've been saying.
I was like so creeped out by that.
I mean, the reason I didn't put the telepathy thing in the pet theories is because it's there. Like, it's not a theory. It's proven.
Yeah, later he's like, oh, these make you look so young, and it's gross.
Yes.
Okay, so the subconscious makes a roaring return in this. She screams, she
is a harpy.
Laughs, she's a harpy, she basically torturing Anna, Anna has schizophrenia and is being driven mad by these voices in her head.
It's kind of horribly sad. I actually made a list of the things she said.
Okay.
Here we go. You don't do any exercise in your life. My subconscious is woken. She's staring at me with pursed lips, tapping her foot. So you've just slept with him. This is the error, by the way. She didn't italicize this. So you've just slept with him, given him your virginity. A man who doesn't love you. In fact, he has very odd ideas about you. Wants to make you some sort of kinky sex slave. Are you crazy? She's shouting at me. Okay, and then the other one, we were making up. My subconscious scowls at me. Fucking not lovemaking! She screams at me like a harpy. It's horrible.
I really love that line because she screams at me like a harpy because you read it just like fucking she'd be saying it matter of factly, but no, fucking, apparently she's screaming it like a harpy.
No, she's screaming it like a harpy.
Yeah, so like
fucking not love my gang. That's good.
So yeah, it's so scary and horrible. It has some really bad anxiety or something, and is hallucinating. And then the last one, Anna's like, "Wow, like I can't believe my body makes Christians feel this way." Her subconscious goes, "Ha, not your mind." My subconscious sneers. I shake off the unwelcome funk. I mean, yeah, she's crazy. She's fucking nuts in this chapter.
Can one of you go back and read the first thing, the things that subconscious is saying in a sonic voice?
You don't do any exercise in your life.
My subconscious is woken. He's staring at me with pursed lips, tapping his foot.
So you've just slept with him, given him your virginity. A man who doesn't love you. In fact, he has some very odd ideas about you. Wants to make you some sort of kinky sex slave. Are you crazy?
Fucking not lovemaking.
So yeah, and I was wondering, at first in the chapter, like, the subconscious was, like, really strong when she was out of Christian's presence, and I was wondering if Christian has some sort of dampening effect on the subconscious. But the subconscious does do some talking while Christian is in the room. But it seems like previous to this, it hasn't been so much that way. Like, she would
Well.
only be after an encounter that her subconscious would bitch at her.
If you think about it, I think that when you're alone, you're more likely to have all these self-hating thoughts than when you're with someone else.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna loses her appetite immediately once they discuss sex, and she's like so horny that she can't eat. This just is like another excuse for Christian to badger her about eating. I feel the feeling this just goes on through all the books and never stops.
Yep.
Anytime they have a meal, she won't eat. And he's like, you gotta eat.
I thought it was that she was like scared, like her appetite has disappeared because she was like,
I think
oh
she was
no,
just like
there's so many
anxious,
things.
doesn't know.
Yeah, anxiety.
She's nervous and also
Nervous
looking
and
forward to
horny.
it. When she lowers herself down into the water, it stings. And I believe it stings her in the vagina.
It's just getting into her eyes, and E.L. James didn't bother to describe that. She cannonballs in.
My eyes! You can sit down now. He halts my scattered thoughts, and I scoot down into the warm, welcoming water. Ooh, it stings, and that takes me by surprise. But it smells heavenly, too. The initial smarting pain soon ebbs away. I lie back and briefly close my eyes. Is she talking about the heat? Or is she talking... Okay. That doesn't sound like a stinging thing.
Right, like sting. It's more like it burns, right?
Yeah, so I thought maybe like the soap was getting into her vagina wound or whatever. Then it was making it hurt. And that was really weird and gross.
That's how I read it, the same way Cherrydoom. So I was like, what's going on?
Well, my theory was that the water is like an alien goo faucet. Like the water itself stings. Not any body thing.
Oh no. Maybe it's like alien blood, like from the Alien series. She's just lowering herself into acid.
Oh yeah, eating right through her hole. I talked about Anna giving head. I feel like she has some sort of oral fixation, that she does this sort of thing all the time.
Chewing your lip.
Yeah, chewing her lip, but that's all that she does, really. I think they maybe should have played up more of an oral fixation. That would have been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't need to be taught anything. And I was thinking that maybe she reads a lot of erotica, because hiding your teeth with your lips, that's something I see a lot in fanfiction and erotica. This is how you give a blowjob, because people, when they're reading, they want to, make sure that no teeth are getting in there, because that's painful or whatever to some people. And then Chuuurls is really making me think she's got some personal experience here. She's trying to allude to.
Not saying anything
about how great she is at... Okay, sorry.
Regardless of whether it was a personal experience or not.
You were just there observing someone else's experience.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, maybe I read a book. Here's what I have to say about it. Like, certain things about that didn't disturb my my suspension of disbelief. It wasn't too interrupted until Christian never had to tell her anything. Like, when she did the teeth thing, he probably should have said, whoa, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, whoever's receiving it has to usually give some, direction.
Feedback.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are if you're a virgin. You still need to know what to do, because everyone's different.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the teeth... I always see in fanfiction and erotic, you fold your lips over your teeth so that they don't get in the way. That's not something that would necessarily occur to you. I would think that you'd think, oh, okay, I'll just keep them out of the way. I'll just open my mouth really wide and try to close my lips around it. God. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Agreed.
What does he say about his dick?
Yeah, I hope it's a body part you'll come to like, something like that.
I want you to become well acquainted, on first name terms, if you will, with my favorite and most cherished part of my body. I'm very attached to this.
Ugh, God, that's just so fucking cliche. Like, I'm very attached to my dick.
He's literally attached to his dick.
So what's his first name?
Mini Christian.
Mini Christian.
He just calls it Dick. He's not very creative.
Loch Ness, because it rises out of the water.
I'm gonna go with Gordy from Phoenix Wright. The
Gordon?
monster and
Oh, yeah.
He calls it Christian Grey Enterprises.
It's actually a subsidiary of Christian Grey Enterprises.
Gordy, a subsidiary of Christian Grey Enterprises.
There we have it.
Okay, so they have the scene with the necktie. This is basically her quote-unquote first taste of bondage, where he ties her wrists with the necktie. What do we think about this scene? It's iconic. It's pretty short to be so famous and deserve the cover of the book, unless it happens more. I don't know. Later in the book.
All the iconic scenes, whatever's on the book cover, it's the mask, it's the tie, it's the handcuffs. They're all like that. They're all really short. I think because this is the first sex scene to be vaguely comfortable and relatable. Because losing your virginity, that was bad. That wasn't fun. This is vaguely fun. And I'll take this opportunity to say, I think that this should have been the virginity loss scene, because they start out in a more reasonable way. He touches her body, they look at each other, he receives oral from her, and then he gives her oral as well. It's more okay, we're getting used to each other and we're gonna have sex, not just getting it out of the way.
Yeah.
Who does that?
I mean, I think it's more like, heat of passion. They can't hold each other back from just ramming it in there like he does. And now that they have more time, they can slow down.
This brings up something that I meant to mention last chapter. How much stamina do we think that Christian really has? Because there's no frame of reference for time.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. At this age, I would think maybe at this point in his life, this might be where that kind of thing has already started to slow down. Because when you're a teenager, you can just go and go forever. And you don't have much of a refractory period. But I don't know, he seems to have no trouble.
I think that Christian is like a tantric dick yoga master because
Well, not only that, but we don't have any frame of reference for how long they actually are having sex, and it doesn't seem like it's.
It doesn't seem like it's that long.
It doesn't take up that much time in the books, and considering how much.
Remind me how old Christian is.
He's 27.
I mean, if he's not lying, and Anastasia really is hottest girl ever, maybe. But still, it's
I mean, okay. It seems like at this point, everybody's different. He should be able to last pretty long as an experienced sex haver who's 27. But he should also have a pretty, at least 30 minutes between
refractory period.
Between erections.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's just, going from one to the next. Maybe Anna's just so hot that he can get it up and it comes super quick.
I mean, there is also...
given his personality, he might be the sort of person that also is, doing training or something.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's not clear.
Yeah.
It just seems...
I mean, maybe Anna has no qualms studying this because she's so new.
Passes out for a while, and we don't get that. And there's 2 hours where Christian's just sitting around in his apartment going
I
guess I should have said this earlier when we were talking about it. I mean, there's also that thing where refractory period be damned. Men can get erections again, but maybe not orgasm again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it may be more realistic if that happened.
Yeah, but that's not how it happens. Because they go right from the bath to the bed.
No, I understand that's not what happens in the book. I'm saying that's wrong, but I'm saying that they may have been able to go for a second go, but he probably wouldn't have orgasmed.
Oh yeah.
Maybe these characters are just unrealistic and are written in whatever way.
No way.
They want to serve the scene in the sex. Scenes.
No way! Is this work of fiction? Oh god!
No way.
This is not really a romance novel. It's more of a fantasy novel.
Yeah.
In a variety of ways.
Okay. That would be interesting if it was just some weird race of people, and we just didn't know
the sex havers.
And they had, some at the very end they mentioned some strange body part that is not human, and it was a crazy reveal.
I hope this book isn't what's found by a succeeding civilization far in the future.
I tickled her with my appendages.
All right.
Beep boop. Chad. It's the Chad turn.
I had the how could anyone look this good and still be legal thing. That's fucked up. And it is as I said, mentioned earlier, it's in a long line of other things. How can anyone look this young and be legal? Your young-looking pigtails aren't going to protect you. And then when she's imagining him at the piano, she's staring at me with pursed lips, tapping her foot like Sonic again.
You're too hoary.
You're being a slut.
Gotta go slow.
Better go slow.
She doesn't explain her references. There's Croesus and Bluebeard. She doesn't explain either of those. That's bad, especially considering the Icarus thing.
Well, I mean, how would she explain those exactly? When you make a reference in a literary reference.
Well, she would say Bluebeard and the keys to the rooms.
When she name dropped Icarus before, she went out of her way to explain it, and this time she didn't do that. I mean, in some ways you just say she's improved as a writer, but in other ways you say she's being lazy because she did it the first time. Why not do it in follow-ups?
When I first saw that Bluebeard thing, I thought maybe she was going to explain it later in the chapter, but she never did. She just made 3 references to it, and then I had to look it up myself. And it was really weird because I thought Bluebeard was like a pirate.
That's another thing. She does it more than once. And so then she really should explain it. If she's going to go out of her way, if it's supposed to be some sort of significant or identifying thing. Then 127, the whole thing where she's cooking and listening to music, I don't understand why she bothers to describe it other than the setup for her getting caught. But in particular, the thing where she's talking about the song that she's listening to, and it's
Amy Stute. I don't know who that
Amy
is.
Stute.
I don't either. But she says she's listening to a song about being a misfit, and then she says this song used to mean so much to me. But then she's because I used to be a misfit. Well, fucking course. What else is why else would it be meaningful to you?
This song used to mean a lot to me. It is titled Misfit, and I too I'm a misfit. I get it.
And then she goes on to explain what being a misfit is. She's like, I've never fitted in anywhere. And now, congratulations, E.L. James.
Congrats.
You explain everything, all the wrong things.
Amy Stitt has a song called Misfit.
That's what I thought. I thought it was probably just a song called Misfit. So I was sort of incensed about that. I was like, this is stupid. This is bad.
Hold on, we're looking at these lyrics.
We have to look at the lyrics. We have to read them.
So you think you've got it all worked out. You got your hot pants on. You got your arse right out. You think you are something new and special, and me in my drab dress, we won't do at all.
How deep.
It just sounds like, I'm a frumpy hoe, and you're a hot girl, and I hate you. Oh my god.
All you girls, you look and flip your hair and wonder why I'm still here. Well, you're superficial. I'm a misfit. But baby, that's okay. All you girls, when you look in the mirror, tell me how do you appear? Well, you're superficial. I'm a misfit. And that's okay.
So you got your little groups and gangs. You got your VIP, your member-only things, your happy clappies, and your VC crew. And if you get in their way, they got 10 on you. What the fuck is this?
Like, she's talking about VIP and great hair, but that's describing Christian. He's not the misfit. He's the superficial girls, even though he's supposedly King Misfit. You're interpreting this song wrong.
Damn. Okay.
There's this, sorry.
Blob.
Christian asks Anna, just how sore are you? And then Anna says a couple things, and then it's just like, why does he ask such personal questions? I mean, it is personal. It does seem like the sort of thing that he would probably ask like the next morning.
Yeah.
It's not uncalled for.
Yeah, it's not that unreasonable a question, is it?
No.
Maybe, in an unhealthy relationship, you just wouldn't talk about those things. There would be a lack of communication. That's what she's expecting, or
she's like, oh, well, this is supposed to be an unhealthy relationship, so why is he asking me about this?
Yeah.
Her answer isn't an answer, which is fine, but it's still not an answer. Well, it's the to be truthful, I have nothing to compare this to. She doesn't actually say, but I mean, that's fine. I mean, maybe she just doesn't want to say it. Oh yes, Kate's nosiness. Is it supposed to be because they're like proper ladies, or like they're very polite or something? They're good girls, or is it also just seems like they're incredibly out of touch, like old fashioned.
It just seems really prudish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Anna does the there thing, and Kate and Anna are always doing the did you? He's down there. Like, then the I'm naked for heaven's sake, which is like, yeah, you were naked before.
I'm naked!
And then 136, the whole thing, when she's filleting Christian, it's like, okay, here's the note that I have. Anna's soapy fellatio. Because she describes beforehand when she's like groping around down there, she soaps up her hands first like he did with her breasts. So her hands are like covered in soap, and she like is rubbing the soap up and down, and then she immediately goes down on him.
Oh yeah.
So she's just like choking on soap.
Well, I don't like the amount of soap that's going on genitals. Okay, so he puts the soapy wash rag on her.
Yeah, that was another thing.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You should not do that.
Yeah, it fucks up your pH.
Not only that, but like, would it really feel that great?
I don't know.
Well, maybe.
Maybe
not the soap, but the
not the
washcloth
soap.
might.
Yeah, that might be nice. See, and I'm not like against washing genitals, but you can't cleave the middle of the vagina, which is what you kind of have to do to get to the clitoris. You can't irritate it like that. And also, like, with the dick, like, that's fine to wash it, but she doesn't describe rinsing it off.
Irritate that clitoris.
No, yeah, that's my point. She just, like, stuck a big soapy...
Irritated clitoris. Okay.
Irritated clitoris.
Okay.
And then, like, while she's, like, going down on him, it's like... He flexes and raises his hips. That's rude. Like, rude and dangerous. Like, he's flexing and thrusting. What's fucked up?
You can't get enough.
They're in the bath, so, they could slip. And also, he seems like he'd have more self-control. He's very reflexive in that way.
I think he's just trying to impose his dumb penis will on her. Try to make her choke. Show him how powerful his dick is.
It's hard to say because the way that it's written, it makes it sound like he's just reacting. It's just involuntary.
I don't know. I think that's fairly normal. I have to be honest.
I just think that with the amount of experience Christian probably has, he'd have a lot more self-control.
Only 15 women.
But at the same time, you can choose at what point you want to use that self-control.
Yeah.
Only 15 women have entered into the contract with him.
But he never had vanilla sex before.
I'm shrugging really hard right now.
You're struggling so much.
No, shrugging.
Next.
Next.
Yep, next. I'm done.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were saying like next thing.
Okay. Kate chat.
Okay.
Well, the only observation I had here is that Kate texts just like my dad does. Here, I'll look at the text and I'll tell you why. Letter R, letter U. Are you okay, Anna? Where are you, Anna? Damn it, Anna. That all sounds like, just replace it with Charles. Are you okay, Charles? Where are you, Charles? Or, well, no, my father calls me stupid pet names. Are you okay, Shashi? Shashi! Yeah, this is just how an older person texts, not a young person.
Yeah, it's very strange. I guess maybe in the early days of predictive text, or, it's the way it capitalizes,
Yeah.
Are you okay? It's strange.
Maybe she's on like an old Nokia, because that is easier. It's easier to text that way with that kind of phone, not a smartphone.
How is Babby formed?
Are you formed, Anna?
Okay, so Anna, they have a really weird conversation in which Kate says, I've been waiting for this day for nearly 4 years, been trying to get her to tell her about how the sex was. Why is she so hung up on, you have to tell me all about it? It's weird. It's kind of
Kate's weird fixation with Anna having sex.
Though, to be honest, me and my best friend had a bet where whichever one of us had sex first, we had to tell the other one all about it.
I just developed a pet theory. So maybe Kate actually can't feel anything.
Oh, she's living vicariously?
Yeah, not just vicariously, she's literally, they're psychically linked somehow. The telepathy is a real thing in this universe. So until Anna has her release, Kate can never have hers.
Oh.
Alright, well now we are into our favorite lines. I can do this. I can fuck him with my mouth. Anastasia says it, obviously. But the funniest thing about this line is that can is italicized and him is italicized. Why? You want to fuck yourself with your mouth?
Well,
I can fuck me with my mouth. I can fuck him with my mouth. And I have a second favorite because it was right after the square to circle line. I head back to watch Christian move gracefully around his kitchen. She's going back specifically for that.
hang on. I think I noted something about that line about fucking him with her mouth. In my book, it's I is italicized. Can
him
fuck
is too.
him. Yeah, but you said can is italicized in your version.
I think it is. I can fuck. Yep, I can
fuck him. Okay. In your version, it sounds like she's saying, "Oh, I can do this," but in my version, it more sounds like, oh, he can fuck me, but I can fuck him with my mouth. Yeah, my favorite line is one difficult square to circle. That is going to be one difficult square to circle. She's so tenacious, blah, blah, blah. This is about telling Kate about with the NDA. So yeah, this is a strange reference to make. I thought it was an alchemy thing because when I think of squaring the circle or circling a square, I think of the game Gabriel Knight 3, which was an old adventure game.
I played that game.
About alchemy. And one of the puzzles is that you have to square a circle. And that somehow that's the key to turning lead into gold. Yeah, it's just a strange, out of place reference. And I kind of liked it because it was just so ridiculous.
I couldn't really pick. I like the way that they sound because they're also hilarious. My appetite has become uncertain again. More sex. Yes, please. That line is really funny.
More sex. Yes, please.
I want some more.
I have needs. Bathroom needs.
Oh, yeah.
That was really funny.
That was so funny.
Then I have the harpy line. Yeah, he challenges. Get the picture?
God, that was the worst. He's been talking about how she's got to stop biting her lip. And he finally makes it clear to her, you can't bite your lip all the time because it makes me want to fuck you. Get the picture.
Get the picture, girl.
Yeah, get the picture. And another baby line. Feel it, baby.
God, that's my safe word.
Boy.
Oh, God.
It's so nasty.
Then the thing about his penis, where he's like, I want you to become well acquainted on first name terms, if you will, with my favorite and most cherished part of my body. I'm very attached to this.
Shake hands now. Give him a kiss.
Ugh.
It sort of ties back into him being a basement dwelling neckbeard goon, the naming his dick thing. And then I think probably my actual favorite is shit, it's my mother.
Now it's time for the goddess watch levels.
Yep. The goddess is here. She's thrilled and she does merengue with some salsa moves as a result of sex. But there's a lot more of the subconscious screaming at her. There's clearly a struggle going on.
But also the inner goddess is slightly something. So my inner goddess has stopped dancing and is staring too, mouth open and drooling slightly. That sounds like somebody who's off guard.
Oh, yeah.
The inner goddess is off guard right now.
Is she drooling at his dick? What's going on there?
I'm not sure. I'm
I
not
can't
sure where I took
remember.
that from.
She's just stroking out for a moment.
Man, these fucking entities in Anna's brain are all messed up. It's a chaos in there. So what should we do? I mean, we've got...
I think we have to sustain the level.
I mean, I guess sometimes the level's just steady.
Yeah, it's
So-
steady level.
Yeah,
We have to be just as scared, but not more scared.
Well, the goddess is getting what she wants.
that's true.
But maybe that's not a good thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, maybe it's a bad thing. She'll become mad with power.
But she's currently placated.
Placated. But that just gonna mean she wants more later.
Yeah, that's true. We never hear anything about the goddess after we can just assume that she's just staring there drooling for the rest of the chapter. Presumably until she has something to do again.
So I think we don't...
She's just stuck in place.
I feel like we don't have to
drooling.
worry about her.
So maybe lower it a little bit?
Yeah, maybe let's lower it.
Okay, yeah.
Lower it to Cloudy Gruel Dray. Oh my god, Cloudy Drool Gray.
Yeah.
I think it actually should be Cloudy Gruel
Cloudy
Dray.
Gruel.
Yep, that's the threat level. Onto what was good. I stare at myself in the gigantic mirror above the sinks. Do I look different? I feel different. I feel like that's pretty true to life. She was talking about, like, after, losing her virginity. There's something about losing it, doing big things in your life like that, physical especially. It's a little bit weird. I don't know. Maybe everyone's different. Maybe there's somebody who didn't feel that way, but...
For some reason that reminds me of Twilight movies where she's like getting ready to have sex and she's like, there's a montage of her shaving her legs and putting on sexy bras.
There is?
Yeah.
I never saw it, so... Hey, he summons me. I peek up at him and his head is cocked to one side. Anastasia, you're a very beautiful woman. The whole package. Don't hang your head like you're ashamed. You have nothing to be ashamed of, and it's real joy to stand here and gaze at you. It's very badly worded, but I think that's nice of him to say. Anastasia's obviously like this horrible exaggeration of a caricature when it comes to that. I think everybody feels a little bit bad about their body, especially, like if someone's looking at it for the first time. And it's nice. I mean... For him to lift her up a little bit like that, that's good. That's nice.
So, yeah, she talks about, I could gaze at him all day, but I have needs, bathroom needs. I like that E.L. James doesn't skip over human needs to use the restroom. A lot of times in books and fan fiction, roleplay as well, people will just, not address that at all. It'll just be totally a non-thing. Characters never have to go to the bathroom. It's something that people might not want to think about. And this, for instance, there's a Stephen King short story called Omni's Last Case, in which a fictional character from a series of detective novels becomes real. And he doesn't know how to use the bathroom because he's never had to before in the books. And it's horrible and painful and confusing for him.
Wow.
And he doesn't know what's going on. Very interesting. It's good on James for addressing that people need to go to the bathroom.
I agree.
Nope, I got nothing.
Oh, wow.
You didn't like anything?
Nope.
Okay. Now we have the safe word. 2 lines. Quote, I know in that moment that I would do anything for this man. I am his, says Anastasia. Later, Christian says, see how good we are together, he murmurs. If you give yourself to me, it will be so much better. Trust me, Anastasia, I can take you places you don't even know exist. That's terrifying. She should say no right away. She's still tied up. He's like, do a dom and sub relationship. I don't feel like this was all right. That's something that she needs to come to herself, not having Christian pressure her into it. And that would be another Dom thing to watch out for. If you are a Dom who's not a piece of shit, you don't pressure like that. Or maybe you do, but you know how to do it in a better way, not with a baby vanilla sub who doesn't even know what that's like yet. You know? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, when he says, feel it, comma, baby, I just thought that was gross, and I don't like it. Nope, goodbye.
Bye.
And then when he says, you look so young with these, when he's referring to the pigtails, and then he proceeds to fuck her. I don't know, I mean, I guess if he's got a Lolita complex, then it's better to fuck a grown woman with pigtails than, actually doing something with a child, but it's still creepy and
I agree.
Tantalizing and gross.
I agree as well. Yeah, the stuff about the pigtails was extraordinarily creepy. And especially that he, apparently he understands exactly what she's trying to do.
And then does.
And he's just
yeah,
does it anyway.
He sees that she's trying to protect herself, and then he...
Yeah, he skirts around her defenses. It's not like he deals with it by, saying, you don't have to do that, or... He's just like, it's not going to save you.
Yeah, I still don't know what she was doing. She's like, I gotta protect myself. But then, as soon as he appears, she's under his spell again. Maybe he is a vampire and she's in his thrall.
Well, makes sense
Yeah.
based on the fact that it's Twilight fan fiction.
Anna's still really down on the BDSM stuff, like it's all
Yeah.
really evil. And also, she seems to think that anyone could really have like an impartial view of sex, because she says not that Christian would necessarily have a more objective view of sex than like Kate, but she's like, I don't want to talk to Christian about sex. I'd rather talk to Kate because I want an impartial view of sex, which like that doesn't really make any sense. And that's
Well, I mean, because Kate's not the person that she had sex with.
I mean, he could tell her anything.
no, I think it's because of the BDSM stuff.
I mean, that too. I get. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's like she's saying like he's too fucked up. Talk about this with him. Like he's not gonna.
But the NDA, I mean, she's probably gonna ask about just general sex stuff, like, what's a penis? Is that normal? Where am I?
My main problem comes with her use of impartial there. Like I think she's saying like she wants someone she could, who would understand what she just went through. That's one thing. Like she's saying that to talk to Kate about it. She wants like support or something, but she's saying, I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it. You had the thing that you liked about her like complimenting Anna while she was naked. I didn't like that because it seemed really predatory to me. And like
I disagree, but okay.
I thought it was like really creepy and like.
I mean, I guess it could be like, he's saying, I gotta build her up a little so she'll have sex with me.
I feel like the way that it was presented, if she didn't want to have sex, she clearly wants to have sex throughout this chapter.
Yeah.
At least in her mind, her narrative.
I find it hard to trust Christian as a character. Like I don't feel like anything that he does because he really wants to, aside from fulfilling his own needs.
I think the way that E.L. James wanted him to be is more like this, but the way that he comes out as gross because one, she's a bad writer, two, this is fan fiction based off a terrible guy, three, society. So there.
I think he's being really condescending, predatory, and creepy, and whereas in like a healthier relationship, it would probably be good and something to like make your partner feel good about themselves. I just find it objectifying. There's a lot about this chapter that is sort of, I don't understand why, but I'm just very unsettled by the whole thing.
Interesting. I don't know. You'll have to do some thinking about it, I guess. And so will we.
No, I'm not going to.
So now it's time for the spoiler dungeon.
Oh boy, Chuuurls gets to see me do this in real life. Move my mouth.
No pressure. I'm looking away. It's good every time. Ask me your question.
I didn't think of it much for this one. Does
It's
he
okay.
ever actually teach her anything?
No.
He didn't have to teach her how to give oral sex. He didn't have to teach her how to lay still.
I mean, he tells her to do things, but I don't think it's the same as teaching someone to do things.
Okay, training was more what he was talking about, but still, like, she's a total virgin, but she's not really...
I mean, come to think of it, he does, when they start getting into the, spoilers, she agrees. When they start getting into the dom sub stuff, like, he kind of teaches her, like, what is the proper etiquette, because he has this thing, like, in his room where, like, he needs the sub to do a certain thing, like, like, she has to kneel down when he comes in and can't look, blah, 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 like, all that stuff. So, yeah, okay, in that regard, I suppose he does teach her something.
Okay.
He's just from the old school martial arts camp of teaching and training, where it's like, just do this thing. Why do I do this thing? Just do it. And he's definitely not like a Mr. Miyagi type where he's like, just do this thing for me, like more polite.
He's like the hardcore Chinese opera master.
Yeah, Mr. Miyagi does the same thing,
he's
but he's
nicer
much
because
nicer about it.
American-ish.
No, he's Okinawan.
But I just mean that like he was in America.
You're terrible.
Dealing with an American in that movie.
It's true. Yes, that is true.
Christian is like the equivalent of the teacher who like forces your legs into the splits, like makes you do the wall sits, makes you stand on your head for hours, like not good enough.
Yeah.
The guy in Kill Bill.
Exactly. Pai Mei.
Yeah.
Pai Mei, who is like, he's a great like pastiche of all those characters, and like actually a real character from the movies.
Does her mother see her naked, or in that classic position where she's like holding a sheet over her chest and it's draped all around her? She's
Nope.
like, oh no.
I think I'm trying to remember what happens. Either she wears Christian's underwear or she wears his shirt. I can't remember
Does
which.
Christian wear her underwear?
No, but that would be great, wouldn't it?
She puts on one of Christian's suits and pretends to be Christian.
Oh yeah, I wore this over.
Hello, mother.
Hello, mother.
It is I, Christian Gray of Gray Enterprises Holdings. What a lovely day this fine Seattle morning for a man like me.
I love you, mother.
Mother, I have returned.
Does she break the NDA and talk to Kate about
Never.
this stuff?
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, so Kate never finds
Wow.
out they're...
Never finds out. I mean, I'm sure she can reason it out. I mean, she knows that the tone of their relationship is obviously rather, he's a very controlling guy, but she never gets two together like, tie you up.
Does she ever just talk about like the losing her virginity stuff?
I think they do, actually, come to think of it.
Does Anna, does she just lose all her friends and everybody, Christian's just her role that she can't tell anybody about anything?
No, she doesn't lose her friends. Yes? She doesn't really lose her friends. Kate goes to the Bahamas, and she doesn't show up for a really long time, and she doesn't really have any friends other than Kate, so kind of.
I totally forgot to put this down in Situational. Page 132, when she's doing the difficult square to circle thing, you actually read the whole quote, so it's like, I can't tell her because I've signed a, what is it called? NDA. She doesn't fucking know what an NDA is. So like Christian explained it to her. She didn't know what a non-disclosure agreement was in the first place. Or maybe she does, but she doesn't know what the acronym means. So yeah, this really ties into her being a terrible negotiator and making terrible life choices.
I don't need to read this contract.
What even is an NDA? What was it called again?
Oh, jeez. I guess see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, later, baby.
Later, bye.
Goodbye.